Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Oh, why is my counter not going? Am I live or am I not? Oh, now I am. Welcome back, guys. Sorry, I'm really getting washed out. Let's turn some of these down. Sheesh. Okay. Welcome back, everybody, to Jack's World of Wildlife's live streams. Today we're going to do something a little different. Hello, Michael. We're going to do something a little different because today I have some exciting information to depart on you all. So we're going to wait until more people start to kind of thread in, and then I will share some exciting new information, and maybe we might even get some sneak peeks of some of what we are putting together this month for YouTube, this coming month. We got a ton of stuff set up to release in February. A lot of cool new videos. Real quick, has everybody had the chance to see the shark diving video? Just released yesterday. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. You can wait until after the live. I'll allow it. But go watch that shark video. That turned out super nice. We got a lot of really cool shots with those sharks. And I am a little biased, but I think the video turned out really, really cool and really great. A lot of solid creative power put into that video. Glad you guys are loving the shark video. It's pretty solid. It's a good one, if I do have to say so myself, if I have to toot my own horn. That was super cool. Real quick, I can talk about that some. That was a super, super awesome experience. That was my first time really getting in the water, open ocean water, and swimming with sharks. I think the largest shark that showed up was that lemon shark, and that was about a 10-foot shark. It was a pretty hefty shark. The rest of the bulls were hanging around, I don't know, 6-7 feet maybe. So still good sized bulls, but really, really cool experience. I actually, funny story, I got seasick because you can't really tell from the videos. I mean, maybe they're a little bit shaky, but we're snorkeling, so we're up at the surface, but the water was actually pretty choppy. So there's a lot of swells, and so you're just shaking up and down and up and down, and we're trying to film, and you can't see the bottom. We were in about maybe 300 feet of water, and visibility maxed out at about 200 feet of visibility. And so you'd be surprised at how disorienting floating around and shaking around in water without being able to see the bottom really, really upset my stomach. And I did actually throw up in the water. I was like, I had felt a little queasy. We didn't get a ton of sleep that trip, so we were just like on the road, just pedal to the metal, going crazy all week because we were only in Florida for such a short time, and we drove there. So like, a big chunk, like it was like 19 hours to drive from Texas to where we're going in Florida. And so a lot of our time was taken up with driving. So when we were, where we needed to be, we were just filming. And so I already didn't feel very good. We had to get up super early. And, once I put my wetsuit on and I'm sitting in the sun, I'm like, oh, I probably don't feel very good. But yeah, when we got into the water and you're just going, oh, I did throw up. I feel like Timmy, in Jurassic Park when they're trying to get him out of the Jeep that's like stuck in the tree. And Alan Grant like goes in there and he's like, Timmy, like, he's not saying anything, and he gets in there and Timmy's like all curled up and he goes, I threw up. He goes, oh, it's okay, Timmy. I'm not gonna tell anybody that you threw up. But yeah, it was pretty funny. Yes, I got seasick. You could say, I mean, being in open ocean, trying to focus on sharks, yeah, it was a little disorienting. I really need to go subscribe to your YouTube. I really like you're working with North American invertebrates. Absolutely. You want to see more North American invertebrates? Head over and subscribe. we've got a few invertebrate ideas brewing, and that's what I want to talk to everybody about today. So if you guys are on the Instagram, hop over to YouTube. I'm going to shut down the Instagram, go over to YouTube Live. Okay, now Instagram has been fully destroyed. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about some new stuff, some new videos coming in on the horizons. Jack threw up. Yes, I did. Big pooper. Sure. Why are you tricking kids into getting bit by stuff? You tell me. You tell me. Idea free handling A tracks. Step one is finding A tracks. Yeah. Step two, we can see that if it arises, should it arise. Yes. Where's the hero venomation? I feel like I address this every single time. I don't think I'm gonna go on purpose to get bitten by Scolopendra heroes, just because I have no idea how I'll react to centipede venom. Other stuff, I'm aware of how it's going to affect me, but centipede venom is just so variable, even from locale to locale, and without really knowing where the certain centipedes are coming from, and yeah, you could get into some pretty serious trouble. Polymorpha possibly, but even those can cause quite a bit of issues. In fact, my buddy Hercules got bitten by this maybe 4-inch polymorpha. I mean, thick, decent sized polymorpha, and his whole arm and his hand was swollen for like, I don't know, a week while we were out in West Texas. And so that was pretty crazy because he's been bitten by quite a bit of centipedes. But okay, yeah, maybe. But anyway, we are going to talk about some of the new episodes that we have coming on the horizon. On the horizon. So the next video that we have releasing, you might have already seen, is a species highlight on the lessons mott. So we got a ton of really cool footage of these motts in Costa Rica. And initially I was like, there really wasn't enough footage to create an episode, but now going back and doing these shortened species highlights, I was able to actually scrounge up enough to make a little species highlight for you guys. And so I'm really excited about seeing how you guys receive this new mott video, because motts are actually some of my absolute favorite species of bird. They're one of the coolest species I think you can run into in Central and South America. And they're just really, really pretty, really fun to see in the wild. In fact, they're one of the major reasons why I really got into birding while I was in Costa Rica, because I just like seeing motts. So let's see. I told you guys that you could possibly get some sneak peeks. I've got a few videos you guys can choose from. So let me go through the list. I'll give you a sneak peek of one of them. So we've got gold on the channel. Here we go. You guys ready? We have manatees, motts. We have a hummingbird video. We have a Hercules beetle video. And we have a poison dart frog video. Not the frog room tour, but we did a species highlight on one of the species of poison dart frogs that I have. So out of those 5, what do you guys think you want to see? What do you guys want? Do you want to see a little sneak peek of the manatees? Do you want to see a little sneak peek of the poison dart frogs? Do you want to see a little sneak peek of the Hercules beetle? What would you like to see? While you all decide, I am going to grab my laptop because I forgot to bring it over here, and then I shall peruse your suggestions, and we will see what you guys might get to take a little bit of an early look at. So, uno momento. All right, here I am. My Jacks for the Wildlife branded laptop, of course. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. Jack's World of Wildlife. Pull that sucker up. Oh, I'm using my computer mouse to try and work on my laptop. That's not really going to work for me, is it? Okay, so we are live now. Let's see. Upload all videos. Not going to show me. I have to go in to manage my videos. Okay, so you guys let me know those top 5. Manatee. Do you want to see marmots, hummingbirds, Hercules beetle, poison dart frogs? I've got 1 vote for poison dart frogs. I have 1 vote for everything but in good time. Patience is a virtue. I can respect it. Anything else? Anybody else interested in seeing something? How is my poison dart frog video still processing the HD version? I uploaded that like 2 days ago. Well, how about I show you? Let's take a look at manatees real quick, because mostly I'm super excited for you guys to see this. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing here. Okay, normal. Let's see. Okay. You guys are wanting dart frogs. I know. All right, well, here is a sneak peek of, let's see if I can get it to, where's it going to balance best. Let me turn these lights down. Just knocked over one of my lights. Okay. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay, let's take a look. Focus. Oh man, this is so blurry. Didn't work as well as I'd hoped, but the manatee video is gonna look awesome. So, let me fix these lights real quick. My ring lights fell over, so I'm messing with them. Come on. Okay, man, we're just pretty disheveled today at Jack's for the Wildlife. Okay. So, little sneak peek of the manatees. Manatees, surprise, surprise, are coming out next Saturday. So, we have Motmots, that's premiering this coming Wednesday in a few days. And then Manatees, that is scheduled for this coming weekend. And I think we got a ton of really cool footage. That was just such a freaking awesome time swimming with manatees. And I really, really, really loved swimming with manatees. I see a lot of votes for poison dart frogs. So we are going to look at what the. Okay, all right. Here's a little sneak peek at poison dart frogs. Species highlight Ufaga histrionica. There's my little large form redhead. Ufaga histrionica blue. Little mama and baby. Large form redheads. Anchikaya. Ooh. Exposure didn't like that one. There we go. Oh. Oh my gosh. A little embarrassing. I'm wearing the exact same thing. I filmed these yesterday, but I did laundry since then. So I like this outfit. This is a good shirt. It's a soft shirt. So I wore it 2 days in a row. I don't know. Who am I trying to impress? But I'm super excited for you guys to see some of these new videos. So like I said, we've got Motmots coming next on Wednesday. We've got manatees coming on Saturday, and then I don't have the other 3 lined up and scheduled yet, but probably I'll release dart frogs on a Saturday. I'll probably release hummingbirds on a Saturday, and then that Hercules beetle highlight will be released in the middle of the week. So we've got a lot of really cool videos already done and ready to be released on the channel. So I'm super excited for that. I think I'm most excited to drop the manatee video. It's probably not going to do quite as well as some of my insect or reptile videos because I just don't have a lot of people who come to the channel for mammals. But it was just one of the coolest experiences. I think we got a ton of really nice footage, and I think that video came out really well. So I'm really excited to have that one on the channel in public so that I can share it because I really like to share. Really like to share those new videos. They are so cute. Yes, the manatees are super cute. That was probably my favorite part of that Florida trip that we did back in November. Swimming with sharks, don't get me wrong, absolutely amazing, absolutely awesome experience. But I have to say the manatees, they have my heart. In fact, they're far away on my shelves, but I actually have multiple stuffed animal manatees that I have. Oh, is somebody bringing me a manatee?
Trying.
We'll have my special helper behind the curtain bring me a manatee. Oh, I hear the manatee fell down. Thank you. Here's our little manatee. So sweet. Little manatee. So I actually really enjoy manatees. We'll have him hang out with us. In fact, I think these are actually this company recycles, like these little beans in here are from recycled materials. So not only is this precious, awesome, cute stuffed manatee, but it's an ecologically sound stuffed animal, which we can also appreciate here at Jacksonville Wildlife. So I'll just have my little friend hang out. But yeah, as a kid, I just really loved manatees. One of my absolute favorite species of animal in the entire world. So I had actually swam with manatees before. Well, I went and saw some in Cozumel, but that was years and years ago, and I have a pretty big feeling that operation was not quite so legit. They had pretty small pins, and you know, I don't know the quality of life of those manatees. Thinking back, I was only maybe 9 years old or something like that. So seeing manatees in the wild in their natural environment was just such an awesome experience for me. It was freezing cold, so I expected shark diving to be a lot colder than it was. In the actual water, the water was maybe 80 degrees when we were shark diving, which was not bad. maybe 85. Like it was like comfortable. And so we still had our wetsuits on, but some of the people on our tour were in like swimsuits, and they were fine, because it was just like no worries. We're in the photo layer of the ocean, and so it wasn't too cold. But manatees, when we woke up, it was 43 degrees Fahrenheit outside. We got up at 5:15, and we got in the car. I've got my Jacksonville Wildlife shirt, my green one on, and I've got my uh, wetsuit like partially up, like around my waist. And we're like, oh my gosh, it is freezing cold, and we're about to go get in the water. Now, the actual water temperature was warmer than the air temperature. Air temperature was still about 60 degrees once the sun came up, and but the water temperature was like low 70s, which if you've never swam in low 70s water before, it's really stinking cold. And so we were in the water with manatees for about, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half. But towards the end, like I just could not keep from shaking. My core body temperature was just so low that I just couldn't keep from shivering. So you're just like floating on the surface trying to film these manatees, and you're like gyrating. And but it was just such a cool experience. Those manatees were just so cool. So I'm super excited for you guys to see the lovely manatee video, because manatees are super, super awesome. So while we've got our little guy here, I can go over some of what makes manatees so special. So manatees are actually pretty much grazing animals for all intents and purposes. So they live in primarily marine environments, which are saltwater environments. But in the winter months, the West Indian manatee in the Gulf of Mexico, they kind of move into these warm water springs. These springs are fed from groundwater that's warmer, comparable, excuse me, to say the ocean at that time. And so they'll actually congregate sometimes in the hundreds in these warm water springs. And so they've got this big paddle tail that they use to kind of swim along. Well, they've also got these little front arms, which are actually tipped, lined with toenails. So they actually will walk along the riverbed and kind of push themselves along. And then they will stick their big flexible, front mouths down into the mud and just kind of rip up sea grasses and weeds and stuff like that. And it's so crazy because you can actually, in some of the manatee video, you can hear them chewing. Because you're underwater, sound travels pretty well underwater. So a lot of the videos, if you listen closely, you can hear the manatees going, and they're using that fleshy, flexible front lip to actually uproot grasses and then put them back. And then they've got these big slab kind of cheek teeth, really similar kind of in structure and shedding as elephants. And so then they just kind of grind that vegetation up and swallow it. And then they have this massive digestive system. A lot of people don't realize the bulk of a manatee is digestion. Some of these adult animals can have like over 40 meters worth of intestines snaking through this belly, big, thick intestines designed for fermenting and digesting vegetative material. So it's pretty stinking ridiculous just how much these animals are adapted to just eating all the dang time. Pretty much whenever they're awake, they're going to be grazing, they're going to be feeding, and they don't really do much of anything else. So it was just so cool to hang out with those manatees. We actually had some really inquisitive babies and even some adults come in and get a really close look at us. We were able to get hands-on with a handful of those manatees. So it was just such a cool experience. We were diving out of Crystal River, Florida, out of Three Sisters Springs. So Crystal River, Florida is the only place really you can legally get in the water, dive, and interact with manatees. And so we just went on a little tour. In fact, we booked it like the day before. They had space available on a tour the next day because we were like, we're just going up to see if we can swim with manatees. We should probably try and get a tour booked. and it was like, I don't know, $80 a person or something like that, $100 a person. And oh my gosh, it is just so worth it. So worth it. And I just really enjoyed our time in the water with those manatees. It was chilly. They provide wetsuits, but we had our own. And but it was all in all a really, really, really great time. So then the dart frog video, that is footage that I've been collecting all over the years. The Wildlife Brothers say, I've heard that Crystal River is crazy overcrowded. Did you find that to be the case? It totally depends on what time of year that you go. Our full tour was just me, my cameraman, and then like I think a mother and a grandmother and then like a granddaughter that came with us, just a little family. And we were actually like there at the prime time. So we were, November's kind of right at the beginning of manatee season, and that day was kind of a little more chilly than normal. So we were actually the only people on the river, the only people there at Crystal River Springs. At Three Sister Springs in Crystal River. So it was just us, just our group. We had full autonomy to hang out with all of the manatees. The water temperature is super important to monitor because if it drops below a certain temperature range, they cut off huge sections of those springs to allow those manatees to stay in there because they don't want people flushing the manatees out into the cooler water. So they just say, no, you can't deal with them. So we actually had great access. We were able to get in and film with, I think, max we saw maybe 7 manatees, maybe 3 juveniles and 4 nice sized adults. And it was just enough manatees where we had action the entire time, but not so many that they're just kicking up the silt and making the water super cloudy and dirty and you can't see. So we were really there in that Goldilocks zone. So it was not crowded at all, not crowded at all. So it was really, really nice. Thanks for producing great videos. My son loves watching them. Now to test your general knowledge. True or false, a blue whale is the longest animal? Well, as far as we know, the blue whale does get longer than any other species of animal that we know of, with the exception of sometimes there's like some clear jelly-like siphons animals that kind of can string together and form, these big chains of filter feeding that can stretch theoretically longer than a blue whale. But for all intents and purposes, the blue whale is the largest, longest animal that we've discovered up to date. There may be a few sauropods that we discover, actually, this one's a little bit longer. This one's 10 feet longer or 20 feet longer. But right now on the planet, that is bootlace worm is longer, found in mud plains in Scotland. I figured it'd be some weird thing. Yeah, so blue whale, technically the largest, typically considered to be the longest. But like I said, there's always some weird invertebrate that, theoretically can get longer or we can document as being longer. But that's a great question. I'll always try and answer questions to the best of my ability, but there's a lot of stuff that, I admit I maybe don't know about. So that is interesting. I appreciate your donation. But like I was saying, we were there at like the absolute perfect time in Crystal River in Three Sister Springs, and it was just so freaking nice. I can't even tell y'all how cool that experience was. If you had the opportunity to do that, November's a great time. It'll be chilly, but it's totally worth it. We had perfect conditions for manatees, and I think we really got the best bang for our buck there. And then, I guess while we're talking about the new videos that are fixing to come out, we've got a species highlight from footage of the Central American Hercules beetle that we filmed with in Costa Rica back in 2018. So the Central American Hercules beetle, Dynastes septentrionalis, is one of the largest beetles in Central America, and I believe it's actually the longest. The heaviest is going to be Megasoma elephas, the elephant beetle. And both of those beetles are absolutely massive, really cool species. We weren't able to find any Megasoma elephas while we were in Costa Rica, this previous trip, but we found quite a few of these Hercules beetles, and we were able to film with this massive male, if you guys caught that episode from way back when. And so I just decided to kind of do a little refresh. We pulled some of that old footage to talk about some of those absolutely crazy, massive, awesome beetles, because they're one of my absolute favorite species of insects that I've been able to work with. And they're just so impressive because they've got that big horn and then that thoracic horn that comes down, and then they just pinch and throw each other around, and they're so strong. In fact, you can see in the video, I've got all these cuts all over my hand, and that's from their tarsal claws. So they've got these super sharp claws that come out in like this big kind of prong at the end of their feet, and they help them climb and hook on to like branches and things. And when they first freshly emerge from their pupae and crawl out of these soft logs, those hooks are like super sharp. They haven't been dulled down at all by anything. And so it's like having freaking fish hooks stick into you. And so if they get mad, some of the fresh adults, maybe we were feeding out in the butterfly gardens, putting out fruit and stuff, they might smell fruit on your hand, and then they've got these sharp little like serrated mouthpieces that they actually use to like slice into fruit and kind of smush it up, because they've got a fibrous tongue and they just kind of drink the juices. And so they have this super sharp ridge on the front of their face, and they'll like dig that into you and like throw their head back and forth and just like hold on with those sharp claws. And so yeah, my hands are beat up working with those giant beetles. So we've got a really cool, nice little species highlight there. Love your show. Hope it grows like it should. Thank you very much. I hope that too. I'm really hoping that this year we'll see a lot of really decent growth. We are super, super close to hitting 10,000. In fact, we should hit 10,000 in the next few weeks here. Maybe as soon as mid-February, we could be at 10,000 subscribers. So that's really, really exciting. And I've heard from some of my fellow YouTuber friends that 10,000 is really one of the hardest thresholds to get up to. After 10,000, stuff starts to move a little bit easier. Then 100,000 is that next goal. And then after that, 1 million, hopefully. And then so on and so forth. So I'm really, really excited. I'm hoping that we can see a lot of more exponential growth this coming year, and I'm trying to plan what videos I think are going to get us there. So it's still a little bit cold up here, but we're starting to get some bursts of warm weather. I'm planning all sorts of stuff, and upon that Andy says siphonophores. That's what I was talking about essentially. Or those conglomerate. Those might actually get longer than the boot laceworm theoretically. I don't actually know. Do I ever play poker? Yeah, I've played poker on occasion. In my home state of Texas, we don't have any casinos because they're illegal. But I used to play poker and blackjack and stuff with my cousins. We would go camping or whatever. When all my cousins used to live in the same area, in the same state, we used to get together and do a lot of that type of stuff. But yeah, I have played it. Why do you ask? You'll get there, man. 10K is a really tough one. Whew, yeah, but I was just looking. It's so crazy because 2 years ago, so it says the channel with 1.5K. Seriously, 2 years ago, we literally had 1.5K. That's literally where we were, because I remember specifically 2 years ago, actually, I was in Thailand. I was in Thailand right now 2 years ago. And I was making a note of how many subscribers we had. And in fact, we had just hit 1,000 subscribers right at the end of 2018, right after our Christmas special. We just hit 1,000. And then our collab with Afro Herb Keeper with Daniel Carter came out, and we got about 400 subscribers from that. So literally, I can go back and find that screenshot of that's where we were 2 years ago, 1,500. And so don't beat yourself up. 2 years, or maybe even faster, because so many of my videos seemingly just get shadow banned. I don't know why. So there's nothing to say that Yeah, so here we are, January 18th, 2019 was right before that collab went live, and that had us sitting at 1086 subscribers. And then closer in, so January 19th, we had 1096 still. And let's see here, January 20th, 1100. Then we started seeing a higher influx. January 25th, 1126. January 26th, 1135. I always screenshot, like, when I'm starting to grow, I'm like, oh, we got 2 more subscribers. I used to do it a lot more at the beginning. Uh-oh, bless you. And here we are, January 30th, 1,151 subscribers. So never say never, right? Because seriously, we ended our Thailand trip at, let's see, that's 1190. When did we come back? Here we're in Borneo. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. Okay, here we are. We ended Thailand February 19th, 1,527 subscribers. February 19th, 2019. So in 2 years, not only have we doubled, but we have quadrupled every year. So that's always encouraging to see. It always feels so slow, but when you have those kind of, landmarks set out that you've recorded, yeah, you can see just how fast stuff is growing. Are you messing with a plastic bag or something? Just get it done really quick.
I'm about to leave.
Okay. My here, you, because you're making so much noise, come say hi to everybody.
No.
Yeah, come say hi. People want to see what is creating such a ruckus. Such a ruckus.
Maybe next week.
No, just say hi, just wave. That's all you had to do. Don't be embarrassed. It's the fans. It's the fans. Okay, well, she says maybe next time. So just please forgive her incursion on our live stream. Okay, love you.
Okay, love you.
All right, so let's take a look. We got a little sidetracked. What's your favorite movie? That's a good one. I don't know. I like a lot of movies. Jurassic Park is one of my favorites. Tarzan, I watched Tarzan like every single day as a kid growing up. Shrek, I watched every single day as a kid growing up. Honestly, controversial, one of my favorite movies is Batman versus Superman. I thought it was a great movie. I thought that the subtext and the underlying themes were just super awesome and super powerful, and people just totally missed the whole point of the movie. And I think that was a shame because it put the whole DCEU off on the wrong foot. And I loved the movie. I thought it was great. I loved the hardened, seasoned take of these superheroes that we are just so familiar with, and I really liked it. So that's another one of my favorite movies. Yeah, so I don't know. Coyote Peterson, ain't got nothing on you. Whew. Have to agree. Batman versus Superman, I have to go now. No, don't go. We're all entitled to our opinions, but yeah, I just never understood why that movie got so much hate. I mean, nothing's perfect. Everybody's like, oh, Batman killed a bunch of people. Batman's killed people in every other Batman live action movie. You're telling me exploding and flipping over cars in every single movie is not going to like seriously maim or kill somebody? Or at least if it doesn't, like, there's no way you could have known that. But anyway, I digress. I do like that movie. But I also like many other animal related movies, so they're not so controversial. But yeah, does anybody have any questions about some of the new content that we're planning on doing this next year? Like, I'm thinking what would be really cool is some Venom versus Blood series. So we're actually going to do a handful of episodes. I'm planning on because I have access to so many different species of venomous snakes. we're going to try and test how blood reacts with their venom. And so we're going to be taking blood, milking snakes, and then throwing it all together and seeing what happens. And I think that would be a really, really interesting video concept. So I'm excited for that. We've also got some more sting and bite videos that I want to try to get done this year. On the list would be things like velvet ant. We haven't done that yet. Maybe some other stuff. More wasps, more hornets. Maybe some more smaller scale stuff so that you guys can kind of put it into perspective. Because I really didn't realize this, but I think it'd be pretty helpful for me to do things that a lot of people have been stung by. Things like yellow jackets or other sorts of paper wasps and stuff that people have been stung by, so that I can kind of put it into that pain rank scale where you could see, oh, okay, so a bullet ant hurts more than a yellow jacket. Wow, yellow jacket really hurts. Okay, so bullet ant must hurt more. Or, hey, they're about the same. Oh, well, I had a yellow jacket sting, so you're saying I could probably withstand a bullet ant sting? And I'd say, yeah, probably, yeah. Because there's just an ant. I mean, they're about the same size. So their venom, could theoretically kind of pack that same sort of punch. I don't know. I haven't been stung by a yellow jacket in years and years and years. So I would have to try it again and compare it. Let's see some dart frog stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. Whoa. Why am I so blurry? Okay. Absolutely. I've been trying to collect so much footage, and so you guys are going to get a little bit of a sneak peek with that Oophaga histrionica species highlight. So we get to see a little bit of my frog collection there. But I'm trying to get so much footage. It's so hard because some of my tanks are just really grown in, and the frogs are, I don't really mess with the frogs. I make sure they've got food. I make sure they've got water. I make sure that they're supplemented, and I just let them breed. So I'm not in there every day moving around and shuffling around. So when I go in there, a lot of times, they kind of hide. They're used to me not being in there. So it's hard to like get footage. I couldn't just go in and do a tour just like in one day and get footage of every single frog. They're all gonna, go and hide, and I'm not gonna get, good footage of necessarily, a large number of them. So it's just like whenever the opportunity arises, I'm like, oh man, I am trying to get that video. I'm trying to get that video. But I think it would take me it's going to take me a few more days of just like full trying to get good footage of those frogs for me to put together that full video. And two, my frog room really isn't finished yet. I've got a minimum of 3 more tanks that I'm working on to complete my full shelf system wall. And so I actually have one of those 3 tanks that I'm working on right now. And so I could have those done, I'm hoping, by the end of this coming month. But that's, a lot of money, a lot of time to put all that stuff together. So safe to say you guys will get a lot of dart frog stuff this year. When it'll happen, not sure. But I do have a ton of dart frogs that I could make a ton of content with. Scolopendra morpha. I'd love to do more videos on Scolopendra and other species of centipedes because I find them to be super, super interesting. In fact, we were going to film with a larger centipede in a buddy's collection, but it actually died due to a heater malfunction, which was a huge bummer. But let me find a picture of that because I actually was able to meet it. Let's see, where is it? This was a while ago. This was like 2 summers ago. But it was a massive Scolopendra, I think, maybe Galapagoensis, which is a huge, huge centipede. Let's see. Rewind. Yep. Here we are. Take a look at that. So blurry. But that is the centipede. Oh. There we go. Look at the size of that thing. That's my arm right there. Look at that. Sheesh. That is freaking huge. That sucker was massive. And I was like, oh, hey, man, can we come over and film with that? And he was like, nah, he died. And I was like, no. because that's a nice centipede. Those are expensive. Those are like, $900 for a centipede that big. Wildlife Brother says, I would love to see venom versus blood with species other than snakes, because blood versus snake venom tests have been covered a bunch. I'd love to see your take on it, though. That's interesting. The reason why it's so easy to do snakes is because I've got access to a lot of snakes, number one, but number two, they're much easier to milk. A lot of stuff would take a lot more specimens. Like one snake, I could get enough venom to interact with a set amount of blood, versus something like, maybe a highly venomous species of scorpion. We would need like 100 scorpions to milk all at once, to get enough venom milliliters, to have that interact with blood. So it's just I'm always interested to try different venoms, but yeah, it does become difficult to harvest venom from smaller creatures, just because their yield is much smaller. So it's kind of difficult to find that happy medium. But depending on how these do, I'm always open to trying some other stuff. Yeah. What types of different videos would you guys like to see? I'm really toying with different ideas this year, because really and truly, Jacksonville Wildlife is not just about the animal kingdom. I think it would be really, really cool to give you guys some microorganism episodes talking about different species of protista, um, and smaller scale stuff like that. Plants, I love plants. I grow so many, and I really would like to focus some more on maybe finding some rare species of plants, maybe carnivorous plants, things like Venus flytraps and Sarracenia pitcher plants and things like that. Fungi, I've got a lot of my friends who do the foraging stuff. I think some natural foraging videos and talking about why fungi is important, and how understudied and mysterious the kingdom of fungi is. So I think a lot of those types of ideas are rattling around in my head, and I think that those would be really, really cool. But I don't know, because as of right now, people are really just coming to my channel for reptiles and insects. So I'm definitely planning on putting more reptiles and insects on the channel. So don't worry if that's what you're here for. But I'm always thinking of new things that I can kind of add to kind of spice up some of our content, because I really do enjoy working with a wide variety of organisms, not just with animals. But of course, animals, that's my forte. Jack's World of Wildlife. Typically, wildlife is going to refer to, multicellular eukaryote consumers. But yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool to maybe flesh out some of our content channels. We don't really have a lot of non-animal organisms. If you do plants, epiphytes, and bromeliads would be cool. I have a ton of bromeliads. We could talk about all sorts of stuff. We could talk about the symbiotic relationship between bromeliads and dart frogs. That could be a whole thing we could talk about, because I've got shining examples by the hundreds over time in my frog room. I keep those epiphytes. Epiphyte, if you're not familiar, is a type of plant that grows typically on a tree, and so they kind of grow on the bark or branches of another plant, and so the different species have different adaptations for pulling in a lot of water, because they're not rooted in soil, so they can't really pull it all the time. So a lot of these epiphytes have really porous, fibrous root structures that soak in a lot of water. Some of them, collect water in their leaves to kind of let soak down and through into the root system. And yeah, those would be really, really interesting, because I do keep multiple species of bromeliads, because that's what these poison dart frogs in the genus Oophaga deposit their tadpoles in when they are rearing their own young. So they deposit them in the little water pockets that collect in those bromeliad, those epiphytic bromeliads, and then they feed them with infertile eggs. So I've got a ton of that type of stuff that we could film. Absolutely, that's a great idea. Other than that, we're working on putting some more mammal videos, reptiles, insects, arachnids, myriapods, all sorts of stuff. My son was hospitalized because he watched you getting bit by ants. Want to pay that ER bill? First off, I doubt that because I've seen you comment stuff like this before. Also, I'd like to mention, totally not my fault if somebody gets bitten by anything. Most of those videos have a disclaimer, or you have any access to those similar species. So it's not my fault, really. Which one was what on the Instagram live? Yeah, more mammal videos. I'm excited because I've got a few ideas of some other stuff. We've got a lot of interesting mammals that I'd like to try and get this year on that list. River otters, porcupines, that comment claiming you're responsible. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know where they're getting this stuff. People always are like, "Oh, people are gonna copy you if you're letting a black widow bite you." I'm like, nobody's gonna do that. Nobody's commenting that on Coyote Peterson stuff. Everybody's like, "Oh, my kids love him." Like it's just something that people like try to use against me because I call Coyote Peterson out. So instead of saying, I'm wrong or I'm doing something wrong, they're saying, "Oh, because my videos are gaining some traction, then people are going to turn around and do a bunch of dangerous stuff." That's not on me. That's on parents to regulate what their children are doing and have access to. I'm not your kid's parent, so I'm not going to tell them what they can and can't do. At the end of the day, these animals are not dangerous. If your kid is allergic in the first place to ants, bees, and wasps, be careful. Please have EpiPens on hand, because that can be a life-threatening situation, even from a mild, case of an ant or a bee sting. It doesn't have to be some of these crazy species, bullet ants or tarantula hawks. It could be something like a paper wasp underneath, a toy in the backyard, and they flip it over, it comes out and stings them on the hand or something. They go into anaphylaxis. They aren't dangerous. I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say. Anything I've been stung by is not inherently a dangerous animal. That's the whole point. I'm fine at the end of the day. Like, if you are allergic to these animals, that's like saying a peanut is a deadly organism because there are people that can go into anaphylaxis and die. That's an allergic reaction. That's your body having a violent reaction towards something else. Like, I'm not going to say that bullet ants are deadly because some people are allergic to them. That's not true. Normally, their venom is specifically designed just to discourage predators from trying to eat their food. It's not designed to kill, a larger animal. They use it to incapacitate prey and to defend their nest. So they're not dangerous, unless, of course, you're allergic. But that's, again, like saying, oh, water is deadly because people drown sometimes, and peanuts are super deadly because some people are allergic to them. It's a logical fallacy that doesn't really make any sense. Understood. I'm disappointed. Wildlife Brothers say, understood. I'm disappointed, but not surprised to hear that type of commentary is directed your way. You articulated your point well, though. Keep at it. Yeah, it's just like it just gets a little dramatic. People are always trying to, say what they want to say because most of the time it's 14-year-old Coyote Peterson diehard fan that's mad that I've shattered their view of their idol. But that's what I'm here for. I mean, the people who are of sound mind and logically aligned with this type of stuff, they're like, oh, that's interesting. I always wondered in the back of my head if his stuff was realistic. Thanks for showing us the truth. I'm subscribed. And then there's going to be people that are like, hiding behind some, fake profile. I've had one guy troll me through like 20 different YouTube accounts. Like he'll make something and I'll just block that account. And he goes through and like dislikes all my videos, my premieres before they even upload. So it's already like tanking all my analytics. So I go through, I block that account. Well, then all of a sudden I get another, negative comment from an account made, 2 minutes ago on YouTube. And I'm like, so luckily he hasn't bothered me in a while, but yeah, I get a lot of things like that. I try to just shake them off because like probably 99 times out of 100, these are like kids between the age like 9 and 15 that are just mad that I've, challenged what Coyote Peterson, puts on the internet. So it's inevitable. I've got thick skin. It doesn't really bother me. I usually address stuff because I don't want my comment section to be like an area where people can like disagree with my video and think what I'm saying is incorrect and then go and find validation. So when people like on my brown recluse video all the freaking time, I had infected lymphangitis up my arm, which are these little streaks, and that is simply caused by bacteria coming in through the lymphatic system and causing swelling and discoloration. It's not dangerous, if you address it quickly, it's no big deal. It's just, oh, your lymph nodes are processing bacteria. That's a lot of what they're there to do. And so many people are like, oh, you have blood poisoning. You said it wasn't dangerous. You have blood poisoning. I'm like, those are two completely separate things. Blood poisoning is a serious issue. That's not what this is. This is simply just my lymphatic system becoming inflamed because of the introduction of bacteria. And that went away in like a day. I did not have fatally dangerous blood poisoning. And so it's stuff like that I have to like address. But typically I'm like, yeah, okay, yada, yada, yada. You're mad because I said Coyote Peterson was wrong. He is wrong. It's very apparent in my video. And so they go for other things like, oh, you're making kids, why are you doing blah, blah, blah. Or they turn it around and say something like, oh, Coyote overreacts to get kids to not copy him. And I'm like, so how does it all fit in? I don't understand. Okay, let's see here. Hello, everyone. Hello. Sometimes the truth hurts. Definitely hurts some people. I take pride in spreading the truth. I like to teach people. I like for people to see stuff that's new. That's a way that they haven't thought about something before. I like to expand people's minds and kind of change their perspective and stuff. So it's always good. Totally off the present topic, but any advice for promoting an upcoming live stream? We're planning on doing our first soonish. Honestly, if you could find something on YouTube, email it to me, because promoting my live streams is one of the hardest things I've found to do. I start on Instagram, then I transition everything over. I post on my like community tab in YouTube, and I feel like not a lot of people come in through that. Like I'm on a schedule now, so I think what would help is when you start doing live streams, maybe I think I never do this, but I think you can book them out in advance. Like say you're planning on doing one next week. You can go into your live and have something scheduled and keyed up, and it should let people know, hey, Wildlife Brothers are going live, at Sunday at 5 p.m., Central Standard Time or Eastern Time or whatever. And then it'll be like a big banner, like kind of how the premieres work, where they, oh, this video is premiering in 3 days, and so people are aware of it, and then they should get another notification, hey, they're live, and then they kind of trickle in. But I mean, even right now, I've only got 14 people actively watching, and they kind of trickle in and out and in and out. But typically I get about 100 or so views on these lives, and then maybe 200 within the next week of people going back and watching and threading through stuff. Yeah, it's kind of a play by ear type thing, but I would suggest the best way to do it is set it up in advance. So it's already like keyed up and saying, hey, the Wildlife Brothers are going to go live, here. A good decent thumbnail, a long description. I haven't found that tags really make that much of a difference in a live stream, because it's for the subscribers that are getting, alerted. Nobody's going to be like searching for a live stream when it's happening, and just find it on YouTube and be like, oh, a live stream is happening. And then just post on your community tab. Hey guys, we're going live this weekend, come join us. And then, hey, we're going live tomorrow. Be sure to be there. And then, hey guys, we're going live tonight at at in the evening. And so just once you get people kind of flowing into the rhythm of it, yeah. But I'd love to hop on and join. I'd love to see how it goes. His show, meaning Coyote, is to entertain you. He's a good actor. I think that's all he is an entertainer. That's what I say. I say he's a children's entertainer because a lot of his videos just lack any substantial educational content, and he's entertaining for young children. So that's what we say. Somebody agrees with Moon about that comment. So do I. Marty Ball, again, we will address this comment. Okay, so when a child dies because he copies you, and that's what kids do, that's going to be your attitude. Oh, well, they're not dangerous. Okay, first off, it's not what I said. If people are allergic to these animals, then they should first off already know this. They should be aware of this, and not seeking out interactions with these animals because they are potentially life-threatening if you are allergic to them. If you're allergic to animals, to the stings of hymenopterans, don't pursue being stung by hymenopterans. Number two, I have no legal responsibility towards people copying what I'm doing. In fact, you could argue that I'm copying what other people are doing by refuting the videos that Coyote Peterson has done, and he started his videos based off of what he read Justin Schmidt wrote. So it's like we're all copying. I don't have sole responsibility about this type of content, so it's not my fault if somebody were to take this and find some level of imitation that they were wanting to pursue in it. I have no legal responsibility. You'd have a hard time pinning that on me. Yeah, if you're allergic to these animals, they're life-threatening. I'm not gonna eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then a kid copies me because they want to be like me, and they eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but they're allergic to peanut butter. They go into anaphylaxis and are hospitalized. That's not my fault. Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? That's like they know they're allergic to peanut butter. Their parents know they're allergic to peanut butter, so their parents should be making sure that they're not going to be trying to eat peanut butter to copy somebody else, because the kids should be aware that that's dangerous. And then on top of that, if they have a known allergy, you should have EpiPens and things to counteract anaphylaxis on hand. So then that should nullify, the issue. You shouldn't have a kid discover that they're allergic to these animals by going out and trying to do this type of thing. And getting hurt. If a kid gets hurt, obviously, my heart goes out to them. I'm not going to say like, well, sucks for you. No, like I'm not going to be happy or glad that somebody was hurt. But it's not anything that I have responsibility over. I didn't go out and say, everybody go do this. I'm saying, you see how ridiculous Coyote is. This is actually what happens. And these animals are not dangerous to the average person who's not allergic. If that makes sense. It's not really. You couldn't pin that on me. That's a nonsensical argument. Okay, if somebody got stung and they said it was because of me, because of my videos, I would say I could email somebody an apology, but I'm not legally responsible for that. I still doubt what you're saying, Marty. If that's true, that sounds absolutely crazy, and I'm sorry that occurred. If it was because of me, I never once have stuck my hand into a fire ant hill. In fact, I believe Coyote Peterson did that, stuck his hand into a massive fire ants. I've not put that on my YouTube. I have never encouraged anyone to go and copy any of the stuff I produce. In fact, I am only willing to put myself at risk in these situations. So again, I think that is, again, a nonsensical argument. It's not my fault. If people copy me, that's their own thing. Kids, don't copy me if you're watching. Not that you can get your hands on most of the species I interact with, but don't copy me. And he says, I think Jack alerts people of the possible side effects and does not advocate these things to be done outside of a controlled situation. And then he adds, pay attention to what the kids watch. Yeah, because essentially that's not my responsibility. I feel like I encompass everything. Like, these animals are not dangerous unless you're allergic, and then anything at that point could be, dangerous. I mean, there's people that are allergic to sunlight. There's people that are allergic to gluten, to bread, to dairy. I mean, it could have a more adverse effect if you have a sensitivity to it. But the prime, venom interacting with a normal, healthy human being with no sensitivity is not dangerous. Hence my videos. Not even Black Widows are dangerous. They hurt, but it's not going to kill you. And that's the reason why I put out my videos, right? That's why. Wildlife Brothers say, Marty, if this claim is valid, do you feel that expressing it in a live stream in a rather confrontational manner is the best way forward? Perhaps address your concern in a respectful DM. Very good, right? Like the show Jackass, they say don't do this at home. Yeah, we used to have a disclaimer in the front of the videos that was like, I don't know, Jack and all guests on Jack's World Wildlife have been professionally trained. Don't try anything you see on the show at home. But I feel like I encompass that general statement in most of the videos anyway. So we stopped just tagging that in there because it seems a little redundant. Like nobody really goes out and tries to replicate this type of thing. Like I can understand people like seeing somebody handle animals a certain way and want to imitate that, but just going out and letting something hurt you, you know, is typically something that is adverse to the human mind. People don't typically go out and seek out that type of thing. Yeah, so this is another, so maybe keep a better eye on what the kids are watching. Yeah, police some of that. Or you know, there are also videos of people doing a ton of dangerous stuff on YouTube, mixing chemicals, you know, extreme sports. I mean, everything is dangerous. Everything can be dangerous. It's not my responsibility about whether or not people copycat some of what I'm doing and they necessarily get hurt. I'm not encouraging anybody to copy what I'm doing. I'm just simply trying to teach people as a professional, really, in this field. But I hope that addressed everything. Like I said, here's a comment. Hey, Jack's World of Wildlife. Softshell turtles are fierce? ? Yeah, softshell turtles are typically pretty defensive, and it's because they have soft shells. Their shells are not terribly protective, so they need to compensate with a bit of a aggressive disposition or defensive disposition, and be able to defend themselves with a sharp beak and a powerful bite. So yeah, many softshell turtles can be pretty nasty. In fact, if you go back last summer, we caught this massive spiny softshell, and yeah, he was not very happy, or she was not very happy. Well, if I'm unregulated, go message Coyote Peterson, because that guy really has no idea what he's doing half the time. I actually really try my best to self-regulate my content and what I'm putting on the YouTube. But there's plenty of other people doing way stupider stuff than me, and I think I have to assume that you're a preteen or younger teenage guy who's just trying to troll my comment section. But you've allowed me to expound on some important parts in this live stream that I didn't think I was going to be able to do. And not only that, you've contributed to my views and to my monetization. So thank you. Any of my trolls have to watch my videos and put, you know, pennies in my pocket. So that's great. Hey, Jack, since this live stream is about new videos and you haven't read any of my insect narrations, I feel like insect narrations won't work. Yeah, we're on a different kind of track for today. Jaguarundi in South Texas now or historically? I believe there's still reports of Jaguarundi in South Texas. I haven't seen any personally. I would not be surprised if the populations are dwindling down, and if they're, you know, only historical, documentations, because as far as I know, we haven't really seen any Jaguarundis recently. There's a lot of people who say they've seen them, but they could be house cats or feral cats and that type of thing. I know for sure we still have a decent population of ocelots, a good population of some of our other native cats, mountain lions, things like that. Is Executioner Wasp video coming this year? We'll see. We have to kind of set stuff back up in terms of travel because everything's still really kind of hunkered down and closed down. Right now, I'm running my own business and I'm back at school for the time being. And so it's just kind of up in the air. I'd like to get back to Costa Rica maybe this year because I think that would be a really easy place to get a lot of videos filmed in a short amount of time, and Executioner Wasps are native to the country, so I would love to get that video film for you guys because I think that would do pretty well. But I'm not sure. I would like to get to Costa Rica this year, and I would like to try and find Executioner Wasp this year. So I'm going to say I hope so. I hope that video gets done this year. And will insect narrations work for the next stream? Not sure. I don't know what our topics are going to be. I don't know how much I'll be talking. But I think that's all we've got time for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed some of the sneak peeks that you guys got to see, the manatee video and the dart frog video. Remember, we've got the Mott video coming on Wednesday, and manatees are coming at you on Saturday. And I'm super excited about the manatee video. I'm really hoping that you guys will enjoy that one. If you guys haven't already seen the shark video, go watch it right now. Shark diving with bull sharks was absolutely phenomenal, ridiculously cool. But if you guys could jump down into the comments after the stream is over and just comment what was your favorite thing, what do we talk about, that really helps me. I'll go through and answer all those things in another little interaction with you guys. It's like, hey, I really like seeing the I really like seeing some of those sneak peeks. I really like seeing some of those frogs. Those are super cool. Things like that. As always, I really appreciate you guys for watching. Wildlife Brothers say, bit of a wild stream, eh? Always good to hear from you, Jack. Yeah, a really wild stream for today. Pretty crazy, but like I said, I'm always so excited to do these streams because they really flow pretty organically, and we never know what's going to happen or what's going to get commented or what question's going to be asked. So it's always interesting. Yeah, keep your eyes peeled for the next few episodes. We've got, like I said, 5 videos already filmed and loaded up on the channel. And so I'm going to try and get some more videos here in the next few weeks. And I'm hoping we can get 2 video average per week this next year, not counting live streams. So I'm hoping we can get 2 videos released per week for at least the majority of the months of this year. But it's going to be a process again because I'm not sure when we'll resume traveling, but I'm going to try my best. Manatee video is coming out Saturday. Once again, I'm trying to get 2 videos per week. We were doing really good in December. I was uploading 2 videos per week plus live streams. So we released like 10 videos in December or 12 videos in December, which was crazy. We haven't been able to release quite as much in January, but we've been doing the live streams once a week. But yeah, we've got a good chunk of videos coming. I'm going to try and get some more videos filmed. But like I said, I'm back at school. I run my own business. So please be patient. I'm mostly trying to get these videos uploaded for the channel, not necessarily for myself, because it is quite a lot of work. But I'm really hoping to get this rolling. Real quick before we end, somebody asked, "Have you done anything with bears?" I have. In fact, one of my absolute favorite intros is on my Wild North videos. I filmed all that footage myself, and we actually filmed some black bears in Alaska in the summer of 2019. So if you want to check out our bear video, I'm sure we'll have more. But our bear video that's already up on the channel is over in the Wild North playlist. And I love the intro that I made for that. Again, that's all footage that I myself recorded and filmed. And so I'm a little partial to it. But yes, we do have a bear video on the channel, and I'm sure we'll have more coming in the future. But I'll go ahead and cut it off at about 1:15. So again, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all your comments and your support. For those of you who donated, thank you very much. I really can't do any of this stuff without that type of help, especially, again, still with our analytics really down in the dumps. So if you guys want to share your favorite video this week, if you want to comment on all your favorite videos, tell friends and family about Jacksonville Wildlife. That really, really helps us grow. That helps us be able to produce a lot more content and go to a lot more places. But thank you all for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I will see you next week for the live after Mont and our manatee video come out. So keep on watching, keep on following, and keep on supporting Jacksonville Wildlife. If you want these shirts, we got them on Amazon. Links in the description below. We also have hoodies, which I should probably model a hoodie in one of these videos at some point. But it's essentially the same idea. Giant logo and then just a nice soft hoodie. Link is in the description if you want some of those. A lot of people have actually been buying our shirts and our hoodies recently, and I've got nothing but positive reviews. So they're soft, they're comfortable, and pretty stylish. So check those out, and then I will see you guys next week. Stay safe and stay watching.